calendar for you.
Thanks.
Okay, awesome.
Beautiful.
She was.
All right, we will call this June 29th, 2021 meeting of Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to order. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Mike, would you lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And all please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. I like calling on random people to lead the pledge. I like that.
Oh, I had you pegged. It's either you or our new employee. Yes.
I figured you. I'm waiting for him to call me one of these things.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get you when you're not thinking about it.
I was not thinking about it.
Oh, wait a second.
And I was like, do I even know this?
Vanessa, please call the roll.
Here.
Commissioner Boyd.
Here. Commissioner Vogler is taking a much needed and well-deserved vacation. And so to that end, he has been excused from today's meetings. We're looking forward to welcoming him back when he comes back. We are being live streamed right now. It's being fed out to our YouTube channel for public consumption. If there's any member of the public out there who wishes to make public comment, who is either not able to be here or is still being cautious due to the COVID-19 pandemic and doesn't want to come here, although I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to come to a government hearing. You can submit public comment to mboyd@lawrencecountypa.com. That's mboyd@lawrencecountypa.com. Please include the subject line public comment with the date of the meeting so I know exactly what you're referring to and you want it to be recorded in the meeting minutes. We are also being recorded internally with that microphone for our use in compiling the meeting minutes. So to that end, if anyone has any business before the board today or wishes to speak before the board, I would ask that you utilize that microphone. Row officer reports and comments. I'm looking out at the audience today. I'm not seeing any row officer representatives. Public comments. If there are any members of the public here wishing to make public comment, we do ask that you keep any comment to matters related to county government, any matters relating to city government, such as a road needing paved, police services, fire services, et cetera. We ask that you see your municipal government, whether that be the city of Newcastle, township supervisors, or borough council, any matters related to state and federal issues, gun control, abortion, all that fun stuff. We ask that you refer those comments to your state and federal representatives, whether that be Park Wentling, Aaron Bernstein, Chris Sonata, Eller Vogel, Mike Kelly, or our 2 U.S. senators. So that being said, are there any member of the public that wishes to have any public comment? Approach the bench.
And if I want to court of law.
We're way less formal, and we don't have any power to send you to jail.
There you go. All good.
Okay.
If you'd be able to state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Ron Halak, and my address is 460 Falls Avenue, Newcastle, Pennsylvania, 16105. I'm going to try to stick this to make it as much government as I can and try to avoid what isn't. It's a pleasant thing. I'm the individual who suggested that Quaker Falls be made into county-owned park, and I went to Steve Craig, and I guess you could say Steve and I were the co-people who were responsible for it. And I'm putting together a book I'm writing.
Oh, okay.
I've written 2 previous books on Lawrence County history. The last one was 1991, I guess 30, 40 years ago, however long ago that was. I plan on having it out. I was wondering how much progress is going on. I've heard of a significant amount of progress going on out there at the falls, because I'll write the book. I am with a marketing business. I'm employed by it. And we can have the project promoted in the 45 foreign nations. So we can get Quaker Falls some really good publicity, and that's all I have to say.
Absolutely, and you're fortunate today. Our planning department are the people that are taking the leads on the development of that park. Specifically, our deputy director of planning for community development, Becky, Schaefer, who I think is probably across the hallway right now. But Amy, I'm sure that you're aware of what's going on.
Oh,
Would you just
absolutely,
be able to
yeah.
provide a
No,
two-minute update?
it's still under construction. It's not open to the public quite yet. The bridge is up, the trail is in place. The parking lot has been done. We're working on signage right now. We're waiting for some other materials that have been on back order because of COVID. There's waiting for some fencing to go up, signage, little things here that aren't completed yet, but it is still close to the public though.
And I would be remiss to not add that Joy Lynn Rita, she's a well-known photographer locally. I think everybody knows who she is. We got permission and we went out there and she took something like 75, 80 photographs of the falls.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be included in the book. So we are gonna get some really good publicity and recognition.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Well, thank you for your efforts. I know we're all looking forward to doing the ribbon cutting. That's what we're good for. We show up when the ribbons, when there are ribbons to be cut. But we're looking forward to having that ribbon cutting.
Yes.
Hopefully by the end of 2021 and opening that incredible asset back up to the public. So thank you for your work on it. And for yours as well and Becky's as well.
Yes. Yes.
Any additional public comment today before the board? Moving on. We have no advertising bids or proposals, no received bids or proposals, no fiscal reports, no report on quotes. We do have a warrant register, actually two dated from June 22 and June 23 of 2021 respectively. Loretta, I'll give you a minute to check those over.
I reviewed a bit,
Beautiful.
yes, and I will move to approve both.
I'll second that. We have motion to second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, approval of the minutes from Tuesday, June 22, 2021. Again, I'll give my colleague a minute to look those over, take a motion to approve the minutes or make any necessary and expedient changes.
Any contracts for CYS? So moved.
We have motion. I'll second that. We have motion to second. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have no presentation of written communications. We have no citations or certificates today. Although we are changing that policy. I'll talk more on that at some other meeting. But we're trying to move away from more formalized proclamations to
Right.
something maybe a little bit more personalized, but a little less formal in the form of citations. But I'll talk more on that some other day. Staff reports. Is there any member of staff here that has anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Oh, Amy.
Yeah,
I think you have the first. This might be the first.
I still on the agenda or something good. I just wanted to take a moment and introduce our new office manager, Sarah Burkholder. She started yesterday, so this is her second day. Yeah, she's
2 days in.
2 days in, we're good, I think. So yeah, she's working out well. We're all getting along real well. She started yesterday, and we're giving her all the information, probably overwhelming her a little too much. We're trying not to, but yeah, so far so good. So
Have you subdivided anything yet?
I don't know if we're gonna go quite there yet.
I think that's next.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Well, better you than me.
Right.
But no, we're certainly happy to have you as part of the team. I know Amy was very excited to bring you on board. And I'm sure you'll fit right into the planning department. It's a fun department. It's a mobile department. And it's one of those departments where, I think we might have some CYS things on the agenda this week. We had some on last week. CYS is a lot more gloom and doom planning. You actually get to go out in the community and see the difference you're making, like with activities in Quaker Falls.
Right, yes, yeah,
So welcome to the team.
definitely. I concur. Welcome. Welcome, and you're under good tutelage there, and I'm sure if you get overwhelmed, let Amy know. She'll
Overwhelm you more.
She'll overwhelm you. It's we have to just be as honest as we can with that. There'll be days like that. But welcome aboard. Thanks.
All right. Oh, commissioner reports. Our staff looking around. We got none. Looked at Mike for some reason. I don't know why I looked at Mike.
Mike probably looked back and said, "Now what does he want me to do?" What? No.
All right, Commissioner reports and comments. Looks like I'm on deck first today. As a follow-up, and I'm gonna lean on Commissioner Spielvogel as the chairwoman of the prison board for what I'm about to say. But as a follow-up to our ongoing issue with jail overtime, I am excited to report the prison board has given preliminary authorization. I want to say they still have to undergo background checks, and those have to check out for the hiring of 5 part-time employees and 2 full-time employees. Are those numbers accurate?
We're as accurate as we can be today because they did pass the background checks.
Oh, awesome.
We are currently waiting the drug screens. So, we're hoping that everything will progress as need be. There are more interviews scheduled. A tentative start date for that training class. I never made it upstairs. I was in HR discussing some different things. Tentatively July 12th, and we're hoping to have a few more cadets ready to go. Cadets, I don't know if that's a proper terminology. Corrections officers ready to go to start those training classes. HR has done a phenomenal job. The warden, even, our food supervisor at that, the job fair that happened, being there, doing those things, HR coordinating interviews and the warden coming over and just all of the background that's involved in getting those things done. Our intelligence officer, the office manager there, everything. It's a well-oiled machine right now moving forward. So we are definitely hoping that we will, number one, have a full staff of full-timers as well as a contingent of part-timers within the next couple of weeks moving forward. Very, very happy to hear that. Very happy.
I think that's
Yes.
excellent. I know the warden.
Yes.
We might have lit a little bit of a fire under his ass a couple of months ago when it became noticed that was an issue. But with the addition of those
Yes.
part-time individuals, with the addition of those full-time individuals,
Yes.
we're hoping that a lot of the overtime problems that we're having will be stopped.
Right.
And I do want to commend the warden for his attentiveness to this issue. I know in the interim, we even closed down a block
Yes.
to try to alleviate scheduling
Yes.
issues that we were having. But we have a conference room up in the commissioner's room, up in the commissioner's suite. And I know, once or twice, 3 times a week, it's booked up and Director King is in there, our HR director's in there with the warden, the deputy warden, interviewing for jail positions. And so we're not out of the woods yet, but we've
No.
taken I think if these individuals are able to pass this drug
Yes.
test,
Yeah.
we've taken a tremendous step forward
Absolutely.
in solving that problem.
Yes. And just for clarification, it's not just Lawrence County that's experiencing this issue. We had problems before the pandemic where we had trouble getting the part-timers in and actually finishing the course of training. With COVID and, different variety of reasons, it's actually across the state dealing with the same issues that people can't, the other facilities can't keep their corrections officers, and actually even across the country. So we're hoping that we are, and I'll say it, that, we're getting a couple of full-timers that are seasoned already that have been at other facilities. Hopefully that stays true, that they can just come right off the block, working with Lawrence County. But it's happening throughout the state as well as the country too, with the lack of resources. So we're hoping to continue to move forward with it.
All right.
Yes.
Dan is like I said, he's not with us today, although I'm sure he's with us in spirit. Loretta, you're on deck next. Floor is yours.
Okay, absolutely. Yes, thanks for the clarification with the jail, with prison board and everything that we're moving forward. Things are opening back up. It's getting busy and hectic, and I think we're feeling that push that so many different things are happening, and we're being asked to participate in different events, and we were all there in Wilmington for the opening of the park.
A ribbon
We have
cutting.
a theater there.
A ribbon cutting.
The ribbon cutting. And Thursday, July 1st, there's going to be the celebration of our athletic teams from the different school districts, the different championships that were won. Cascade Park 4 to 9, open to the public. It's going to be a huge celebration. If you could make it, you can be there. Please stop in and join in the festivities. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
New resolution portion of the agenda, we've got our resident MHDS director, on deck today with a number of resolutions that I'm hoping he will go through expeditiously.
Oh my, did you get upset with John last week that he had so many that you?
These are much easier, I'm sure, much quicker.
Okay.
I don't understand what you guys do on the programmatic side. I don't want to understand what you guys do on the programmatic side. Just don't cost me too much money in my budget.
Where are we starting at first?
We'll do, we're gonna do Lark. We'll do Lark number 1.
Okay.
You have a copy of the agenda? Okay, yeah, we'll just go in the order of the agenda.
These are all renewal contracts today, which makes it a blessing for me because the longevity of our providers, we're very blessed to have so many that have been doing business for a long time. It makes my job much easier and provides a better quality of care. So with Lark, they've been in business for over 60 years and they do a great job. Again, it's a renewal contract for Lark Enterprises between MHDS. Contract runs from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Contract amount is for $559,936 and is paid via block grant funding. And as we know, Lark provides employment, skill development for Lawrence County ID and mental health consumers.
Great. What resolution is that?
138.
138. Question, comment, Loretta?
No.
Good.
Oh, good. They do an excellent job. Excellent.
Next.
Okay, which one's that?
Passman.
Okay, this is another renewal contract between MHDS and Passivant Memorial Homes. Contract runs from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Contract amount is for $16,000 and is paid by block grant funding. Passivant provides in-home and community supports for Lawrence County residential and developmental delays.
Great. 139, question, comments?
No.
Next. IM4Q.
Okay. And another renewal contract. This is between MHDS and LCAP. The contract runs from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Contract is for $26,000. And IM4Q are surveys completed on Lawrence County consumers who are living in a licensed community residential setting. The surveys look at life outcomes and just an overall general satisfaction of how those consumers are being served.
Great. 140, questions, comments?
No.
GSK, Apex Enterprises.
GSK. Another renewal contract between MHDS and GSK Enterprises. Contract runs from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Contract is for $17,250 and is paid via block grant funding. This is service provided by Gary Kinnear, who does IQ testing and functional assessments and behavioral supports for Lawrence County ID consumers.
Awesome. 141, questions, comments? Clover.
This is another renewal contract between MHDS and Clover Psychological. Contract runs from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Contract is for $80,000 and is paid via block grant funding. This is a slight increase from last year. Clover's provides forensic services for a wide range of offenders, which we saw increases last year. And they do testing, counseling, and case management.
Great. 142, questions, comments? And last but not least, I have a couple questions for you that's not related to this, so we'll wait until it's over, but for Whole Life Services.
Yeah, another renewal contract between MHDS and Whole Life Services. Contract runs from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Contract is for $34,000 and is paid by block grant funding. And Whole Life provides case management and community supports for employment for ID individuals.
Gotcha. 143, questions, comments? All right. Here's my question, not related to any of this. State just passed the budget for 21-22.
Beautiful.
Are we in good shape?
We are in good shape.
Okay.
We are ready to roll them up. So my only concern is if it was going to get held up.
I thought it was. I legitimately thought it was.
We could do these. We just couldn't pay providers, which providers like to get paid.
I would
So
imagine.
that's great news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there were no, it's my understanding, no cuts, no rollbacks of any mental health funding statewide.
Everything's status quo.
That's what we like to hear.
Yes.
The date on the resolution for this last one for Whole Life, should it say July 1st, 2021, June 30th, 2022?
Did I?
It says 2020 through 2021.
That's the
Okay, I'll change it. Thank you.
So amended now, so we don't have to worry
Yes.
about that later.
Right.
All right, you're in good shape. Let's Loretta, any,
No, I'm good.
all right. Joe?
No?
No?
Familiar names.
One of the,
Yeah.
And trained well.
one of the nice things, and I think one of the things that we were fortunate to be in a position when we came on board last year, was we do have tremendous department heads, and tremendous people
Absolutely.
working, in and throughout the county in all of our departments. And so to that end, you know, I've made no secret of the fact that my strong suit is non-human services. On the programmatic side, when it comes to the programs at CYS and MHDS, that some of the stuff we do through LCAP that are implemented through those organizations, I don't understand how. I probably understand less than half of them. That being said, I have the utmost faith and confidence in the people that are in those positions, where I don't have to completely understand everything. I just have to get the big picture, which you guys do a very good job of providing. So thank you for all your work. Good job. Get the hell out of here.
That doesn't mean that he won't come for once.
That's right.
Either.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate all we did too. The scissors are coming. The scissors are coming. 2022, but 2021, no, 22, but 21. But actually, MHDS is one of those,
Right.
yeah, it's funded, so, you know. Up next with, hey, we'll see you, bro. With LCSS, I'm assuming that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here, yep.
Just a pledge, that was that.
But we're happy to have you as our dedicated, pledge guy. But, Mike Hughes with LCAP or LCSS here for, Consortium Lead Hazard Control Grant. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing, how you were in Florida, right?
I was in Dewey Beach, Delaware.
Dewey
and
Beach,
I went
Delaware.
to Maryland for a baseball tournament for my son.
How was that?
This is my first stop back. It
Oh,
was great.
Okay.
Well, we're certainly glad
That
to
was
see you.
good.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's always good to get away for a little bit.
That was nice.
All right, what do we have? $5 million. That's a lot of zeros. So what do we have going on?
I'm here today to seek approval from the county for LCAP to apply for another HUD-funded lead-based paint hazard reduction grant. The purpose is to maximize the number of children under the age of 6 protected from lead poisoning by removing lead-based paint hazards in their homes. This can be for privately owned rentals or owner-occupied housing, and you have to be at 80% or below at AMI income requirements. The target areas for this grant would be the same as our current one, Lawrence County, Mercer, Lancaster, Butler, and Delaware. And we always have the potential to add new counties as we go. The proposed amount in lead hazard control funding is $5 million, with an additional $700,000 in healthy home supplement funding. So for a total of $5.7 million. We're suggesting doing 262 units with those dollars. In the period of performance, we're expected to start 8/30/2021, and it'll run through 3/3 of 2025. And for this grant, there's a 10% match requirement for the funding. We usually get like landlord contributed or like CDBG funds.
Okay.
Gotcha. I know this is one of the programs I know specifically with our involvement right now, and what's looking to be a very positive project in Union Township, for example. Where we're able to go and we take this funding, we match with other pots of funding. We look at
Yes.
weatherization funds that we have coming in. We look at general housing rehab home funding that we have coming in, and we're able to really go in. And I think moving forward, look at not just transforming individual houses, but transforming full neighborhoods. And so to that end, I know from the program, and I understand this a hell of a lot better than I understand the mental health stuff. But I know from a programmatic standpoint, you guys do incredible work. I know your relationship with the state and with the feds when it comes to these types of dollars is tremendous. And through you, we've been able to rehabilitate, to remediate lead paint, to really revitalize homes, and again moving forward, probably entire neighborhoods very successfully. And we're very fortunate to have you in our community. And so to that end, I'm absolutely not going to say no to $5.7 million. It's just not something I will ever do. And so we'll make that 144. Loretta, any questions, comments?
Just same thing with the comments, to know that much money that is just one program that, the state and federal governments feel secure in funneling it to whether it be LCAP, LCCS, any one of those programs that are done is just phenomenal that we have that available. And the fact that going with our Union Township programming, that people still do not realize that this type of funding is available, and it is just make that phone call. It's amazing to me. Like even when we did our CARES funding and getting that information out, I don't know, other than knocking on the doors, which is Union, was started with that, just letting people know, well, do you know that you could have this, or this is available, or that's available, that people just are not aware of that. It's amazing to me. But knowing that we have people such as yourself in the different areas of programming that is done, that we're able to still make those big dents into the blight and the painting and neighborhoods and just revitalization is just phenomenal. Yeah, I can't say it enough. I mean, just you say it and it's done, which is great. Thank you so much again.
Yep, no problem. Thank you guys.
And I shot you an email about whenever you get a chance. If you'd be able
I'll
to.
respond to that.
Great,
I
thank
just
you.
needed to get to the office.
Oh, no, I'm not, it's not an urgent thing.
You mean you didn't respond when you were on the road?
Yes,
Good for you that you did not.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I know you, I just want to make sure you saw it.
Thank you guys.
Hey, thanks, bro, we'll see you.
Okay, and this is,
144.
pardon me?
144.
Thank you.
Next on deck, 145, I got a soliloquy on this one.
My.
Resolution for discussion, possible approval to end the declaration of disaster emergency due to COVID-19. It's been 470 days since Lawrence County entered into a state of disaster emergency. It's been 470 days since our world was upended by a virus at the time we didn't know a whole lot about. And in those 470 days, 5,519 residents, or 6.5% of our population, have contracted COVID-19. Of those 5,519 residents, we're very fortunate that 5,303 have recovered from the virus and continue to carry on their lives. At the same time, 216 residents were not as fortunate. And I think sometimes we get a little bit lost in the statistics. I'm as guilty as anyone at that. But I think it's important to note the tremendous human impact of this virus, because just in Lawrence County alone, that's 216 families that will never see their loved ones again. It's the sons and daughters and the mothers and fathers of 216 residents will never celebrate another Christmas, another Easter, another Thanksgiving, a Hanukkah with their family member ever again. We'll never see them smiling across the dinner table or laughing at family reunions. And that, at the end of the day, is the true cost of COVID-19. At the same time, we know a lot more about this virus than we did on March 17th, 2020. At the time, we thought the fatality rate was 20% or 30%, as opposed to the 4% rate that we saw in Lawrence County. We thought that contraction of COVID-19 was a death sentence for which there was no cure, and we didn't have the medical ability to prevent people from contracting that virus. Now, in June of 2021, 470 days later, not only do we have a much better grasp on the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, but we have a viable and medically proven means of preventing it. To date, 36,516 residents have made the decision to receive a full or partial dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and the results are evident. From our peak on December 10th of 2020, of 105 new cases in one day, and since the deployment of the vaccine, we are down to 2 cases per day as of June 26th, 2021. We've gone from seeing 4 to 6 deaths per day in December of 2020 to 4 deaths total for the entire month of June 2021. Our businesses have been able to safely reopen, and our at-risk residents are able to safely see their friends and family again. While the crisis is not behind us entirely, I am confident that the worst of it has passed. But we also need to take the time to recognize the incredible community effort that our residents put together during these hard times. In the toughest of situations, times that we've never experienced in over a century, we banded together like good neighbors do and made sure that our community remained intact. Our residents organized one of the largest food distributions in Western Pennsylvania, which was spearheaded by incredible people like Mark Kaufman, Hugh Courier, Linda Rupert, and many others, making sure that no one went hungry during a time of economic uncertainty. Organizations like LCAP, under the leadership of Tom Scott, Jen Elliott, and Vanessa Lovely, made sure that our seniors, our at-risk seniors, had access to food and access to medical facilities through their Innovative Teams program. And our everyday, ordinary residents rose up to patronize our local businesses, check in on our seniors, and do their part to ensure the safety and security of our community. Across the county, their efforts give me hope for a better tomorrow. Finally, I do want to note, I want to take some time to highlight some of Lawrence County's actions that we took to supplement the efforts of our community in mitigating and withstanding this virus. Through a combination of state, federal, and local funding, the county was able to provide 374 grants to businesses and nonprofits, largely through the efforts of our planning department, to make sure that they stayed afloat during rough economic times. We distributed over 50,000 units of personal protective equipment to first responders, nursing homes, and other entities. We were able to secure $270,000 in funding for food assistance programs. We supported 21 municipalities with COVID-19 relief funding, ensuring that critical public safety services were not cut as a result of decreased tax revenue. We assisted residents with over $300,000 in rental and utility payments, and we contribute $250,000 to our volunteer fire departments. To date, Lawrence County has directed $6,739,831.05 in state, federal, and local funding back into our community to make sure that our residents and businesses were able to withstand the storm of COVID-19. And coming out on the other side now, we will continue to look for ways to rebuild Lawrence County for a better future. So I'll close by saying thank you to the residents of Lawrence County for stepping up when the world turned upside down. This isn't over yet, but the worst is behind us. So stay vigilant, and above all else, make sure the community spirit and our bonds with our neighbors stay as strong moving forward as they were during the worst times of the pandemic. And with that, I actually wrote a speech. I very rarely write speeches.
I want to stand up and that was I don't make light of it by that, but an excellent summary, because you don't realize just as things progressed what was able to happen. That, the saying, maybe I'm just making a new saying, in the worst of times, you bring out the best in people. And I think that's what happens. Say what you will about our community, about Lawrence County, about anything whatsoever. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And we have done that repeatedly again and again and again to show the spirit that we have as a community to be able to overcome. That was excellent verbiage. The numbers are there, the stats were there, that I expected none less from you. The human element was there. You brought it all together in those paragraphs, and well done. We did a good job. Everybody in our county, in our community. So yes, again, another heartfelt thank you to all of you that made it easier for us to accomplish what we needed to at a county level. I say thank you. I reiterate those words.
Absolutely. I go to Pittsburgh. I go to Cleveland. Different places around the country. Actually, a pretty decent amount. And one of the things that you notice, and again, Pittsburgh more often than most, is that there are a lot of stores, a lot of storefronts that are now closed down in Pittsburgh. And driving around Lawrence County, we were very fortunate not to experience that. And I think a large part of that was due to, I have friends that are restaurant owners around here, as I'm sure we all do. And they'll tell you that during the peak of the pandemic, when they thought they were going to lose what they worked for the past 30 to 40 years, our residents stood up. They took the time. They got carry out. They got takeout. They got curbside service if it was a storefront. And they really banded together to sustain our community and sustain our businesses. Our schools figured out how to make it work. And God bless the superintendents. And God bless the school boards. Because while our jobs were difficult the past year, theirs were impossible.
Amen to that.
And I can't speak highly enough of how our community responded to
Yes.
this crisis. Truly, when you compare to other communities, even across the Commonwealth, you know, we were quantifiably and statistically, we were able to recover better, faster, and stronger than many others, entirely due to the efforts of our community. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
And again, it's not over, but the worst is past.
I remember thinking, you know, in the midst of it, there was a pinhole of light at the end of the tunnel, and it just gradually, the opening got bigger and bigger, and we were able to see that daylight, and I think we're at that point now. Yep. Yes.
So I'll read the full resolution when we go to vote on it,
Sure.
just because it does kind of give a summary timeline, that mild summary timeline. But with that being said, unless you have anything else to
No,
state,
you said it very well.
145. I will never forget the morning that we decided to pull together that disaster declaration.
Oh,
So Tom Leslie was still on board as a full-time solicitor. He was upstairs working with Jeff Parrish on all the
Yes.
verbiage for it.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I remember thinking, my God, what the hell did I sign up for?
What is this, right? I mean, 3 months in,
Yeah,
3 months in, and everything upended.
oh, it was incredible.
The list we had of our accomplishments that we wanted to maybe make in the first year. went
Shrunk a
way out
little
the window. We want to survive. We would like to survive through this next 3 to 6 months to a year, whatever it was going to be, because we had no clue what the future was going to hold. And we're on the other side now. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
Wow.
But-
Okay.
well, I mean, we could tell, we should write a book.
Honestly,
But resolution, we'll move on. Resolution 2021-146. Our planning department looks like a, I don't know what the hell it is. Amy, what is it?
First is a budget amendment for $4,250. Basically what happened was there was an accident at West Park. Somebody knocked over the stone, so we got in the insurance claim, so we're just amending our budget to include that. And the maintenance and repairs by $4,250. Yeah, we have the check that's already been taken, yeah, we have that, so it's all ready to go.
146. What's 147?
This is for another budget amendment with CDBG for fiscal year, to amend our fiscal year 2021 budget, $6,201 for, I think it was the sewer, Shenango Sewer.
Gotcha. Simple enough. And it's Shenango. It's not county.
Nope, it's, yeah, right,
Yeah.
CDBG.
Yeah, and it's because I Lawrence County we get 4 pots of CDBG funding. One pot is the counties, which the commissioners have discretionary ability to spend. The other 3 pots, and this is federal. I mean, I don't know why some community, like I never understood why we don't do the Shannon, for example. Shenango gets a pot, Union gets a pot, and Elwood City gets a pot. And their borough councils or township supervisors respectively have the ability to allocate that as they deem appropriate. We are the administrative authority for that, which means we do the admin side of work, but we don't actually determine the projects. The city of Newcastle receives CDBG funding. That is entirely administered through the city of Newcastle. We don't have anything to do with that. And the rest of townships and boroughs in Lawrence County fall under the county's allocation. The commissioners sort of get to determine what goes on there. But this specific one is relating to Shenango, which means it's a project approved by the Shenango supervisors. And again, we are just merely the administrators of that project. So I just wanted to clarify that for our online viewer singular. What's one? That's it.
I do have a transfer, do you want to talk about it now or just wait till it's up?
I mean, what is it?
It's
Oh,
CDBG.
Oh, Shenango, yeah.
It's Shenango, so this is real simple, basically when when we put in our application for them for fiscal year 19, they decided they wanted to put $20,000 towards light. Now they're not
Okay.
gonna use that towards like, they wanna move it to rehab, so we're just doing a transfer. It's already set up in the system, we're just moving that $20,000 from the IDIS blight to $20,000 to housing rehab, that's it.
Okay.
Easy enough.
Yep.
That's it.
Thanks, Amy.
No, thank you guys,
All
appreciate
right,
it.
thank
Hey, have a
you,
good one.
and welcome aboard.
I'm fine with that.
Yes.
It really is one hell of a ride.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Vanessa.
You're welcome.
Up next, Ag Board transfer. We received some additional state funding for the Ag Preservation Board, which is gonna be used to basically preserve more farmland, which is in my mind
Yes.
a very, very good thing.
Absolutely.
And so this is just an amendment to the budget, allowing for that additional state revenue. This is $850 from Commissioner Contingency to a Modi telephone. I don't really know what happened there, but I think I mentioned this, I was under my estimations for all the telephone bills. And so in order for the controller's office to pay out, the entire telephone bill, every department has to be have the ability in their budget to pay their individual telephone bills. And so this transfers money to make sure that that's done, and that, our phones remain online.
Yes. That was always a good thing.
So that'll be a resolution, 149, the last one was 148. Up next, 150. This ties into the ag preservation, ag preservation allocation. We need to make it basically because of the way the budget's written, we need to make a $5,191 transfer as opposed to just increasing or decreasing line items. It's without going into detail, it's as simple as I can make it.
Sure.
This was on the agenda last week. I just done with the resolutions. Yeah.
Yes.
These are the transfers now. This was on the agenda last week. I cleared it with the controller. It makes sense now. But moving $4,000 from maintenance and repairs to part-time staff, part-time employee for the remainder of the summer. This is from PD's office, $75 from contingency to attorney fee, other counties. That one has not historically been utilized, and so to that end, I shrunk it a lot in the budget, with the expectation that there might be a spike here or there, and so that's what the contingency accounts are for, but it's $75.
Yes.
Take that out of my wallet if we need to. This is what Amy talked about, 20,000 Shenango CDBG. APO contingency, $3,500 from our contingency to their part-time employee. In this, it's written shortage in the budget line item. That's not a shortage, that was intentionally done, but they're choosing to allocate their contingency to providing for additional part-time hours, which is no issue. It's just, that's it for APO. Domestic relations, $250 from contingency to unemployment. I guess I was a little bit short there. What might have happened there, and this is very possible because domestic is a larger department, is when you pay for unemployment insurance, you pay the first $10,000 on an employee's salary, which means that if you have an employee that reached that $10,000 mark that might retire or resign or move to another position, and you onboard a new employee, that clock starts again. And my guess is that's probably what happened in domestic. It didn't account for a turnover. And again, this one, expenses is higher than original budget projection. Moving MHDS contingency to office equipment, $900, and contingency to unemployment insurance, $150. And that guy also ties in because we hired a couple new people in our MHDS office.
One new person.
Yeah. So I'll take a motion to approve admin transfers A through G.
So moved.
We have a motion, I'll second that. We have a motion to second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. I'll take a motion to amend the agenda to allow for voting on resolutions 2021-138 through 2021-150. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same side. Motion carries. I'm gonna omnibus 138 through 143, which are all of the DS contracts. Just to summarize, that's Lark Enterprises, Passive Memorial Homes, LCSS, GSK Apex, Clover Psychological, and Whole Life Services. Do you have any issue with omnibusing that?
Not at all.
All right, I'll take a motion to approve resolutions 2021-138 through 2021-143.
So moved.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-144, now that the result, Lawrence County has granted LCSS to make application and administrate such funds in the amount not to exceed $5 million with an additional $700,000 in Healthy Home supplemental funding. County of Lawrence will execute the adoption of this resolution in preparation of furnishing a copy to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The Chairman Commissioner is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents pertaining to the application for funds as well as the administration of these funds throughout the grant contract period. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that. Motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-145, this ends the disaster declaration. Resolution reads, I'll read the full thing. Whereas a novel coronavirus known as COVID-19 here and after COVID-19 emerged in Wuhan, China, and began infecting humans in December of 2019. And whereas COVID-19 has spread in multiple countries, including the United States, and whereas states throughout the United States have been affected, including the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And whereas on March 6th, 2020, the governor of Pennsylvania issued a proclamation of disaster emergency, which among other things authorized the suspension of certain procedures and formalities prescribed by law and urged counties to act as necessary to meet the current exigencies. I learned how to say that since we implemented, since we did this. I bungled that word when we did the actual proclamation. Whereas on March 13th, 2020, the President of the United States declared a national emergency, whereas as of March 17th, 2020, Lawrence County Board of Commissioners issued a proclamation of disaster emergency, which among other things authorized the suspension of certain procedures and formalities prescribed by law and allowed for greater legal flexibility in managing the COVID-19 pandemic in Lawrence County. And whereas as of June 10th, 2021, the General Assembly of Pennsylvania ended the proclamation of disaster emergency in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, whereas a number of positive COVID-19 cases and COVID-19 related deaths has substantially decreased in both Lawrence County and across Pennsylvania. And whereas all Lawrence County residents have easy access to COVID-19 vaccines and are encouraged to receive the vaccination. And whereas as of June 28, 2021, 36,502 residents of Lawrence County have received a full or partial vaccination, amounting to 43% of the total population of Lawrence County. I'll note that is not accounting for individuals who are not eligible for the vaccine. That's total population. Now therefore be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, the proclamation of disaster emergency issued by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners on March 17th, 2020 is hereby ended. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
That felt good. Resolution 2021-146, now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows. Increasing grants and programs planning development by $4,250 and increasing their attached expense account by $4,250. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion, I'll second that. The motion is second. Is there any further discussion? If none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-147, now therefore be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows: decreasing CDBG revenue account by $6,201 and decreasing CDBG Shenango sewer expense account by $6,201. Budget reflected invoice already paid. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. A motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-148, now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows: increasing Ag Preservation Board General Fund revenue account by $70,280 and increasing Ag Preservation Board General Expense account by $7,280. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion, I'll second that. We have motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-149, now therefore resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, authorization is hereby given to the appropriate administrative officials transfer total of $850, describing detail on the attachment designated as T-2021-04. This is a Moody's phone. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Beth, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-150, now be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, authorization is hereby given. The appropriate administrative officials transfer total of $5,191, described in detail on the attachment designated T-2021-005. This is in relation to Ag Preservation Board. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Beth, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have no ordinance on the table for introduction or final action. Next commissioners meeting will be held on July 6th. In this room will be closed on Monday, July 5th in observance of Independence Day. Missing anything?
Nope.
Any additional public comment at this time? Seeing none, anything additional from you?
Nope.
Joe?
No.
Vanessa?
Nope.
In that case, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Lawrence County Board of Commissioners is adjourned.
Thank you.
How's it going?
I'm doing 1 second turn live stream off.
There we go.
I've made that mistake before.
It's something you should
How
know.
are you? Did you want copies?